What's up, everybody? Mark here with your carp fishing, and we're back out here on the bank for another session today. New spot, same lake as my last video, but new spot. And gonna get baited up, gonna get cast out, see what we catch today. Getting a short session, so hopefully we get on something. Let's go. All right, y'all, and using my homemade almond tiger nuts today. I've been crushing these on my last few sessions, so hopefully we catch something big today with these. Gonna go ahead and get baited up with the hook bait, get casted out. Again, y'all, when you bait up a hair rig, again, I use a hair rig on all my rods. I got my rod pod put together here, and take off my old tiger nuts, chuck those in the water, use my new ones. This hair is really long on this rod, so I'm gonna actually use 3 tiger nuts. Normally I use 2, but I've been using 3 if my hair is really long. Also, let me know what you think about if I use 3. I've heard mixed things. Some people say that, you know, that you can catch bigger carp with a bigger hook bait, which has been normally true to me. I normally get less nuisance fish because the carp don't normally, you know, they'll feel this, and if it's a smaller carp, they'll spit it out. But it doesn't always seem to be true for me. I've caught also tiny little carp off the 3 tiger nuts, so we'll see. Got my hair rig baited up here. Gonna go ahead and do my other 2 and do some pack bait. All right, y'all. Now that I got all the hook bait baited up, gonna do some pack bait. Used my go-to, which is instant oats. I used strawberry jello mix, creamed corn, whole kernel corn, and a little bit of the leftover pack bait from the last time I went fishing here. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the last time I went fishing here, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my rods baited up here. All right, y'all, doing pack bait. So I did actually get out since my last video, which has been a while. I just haven't had a lot of time to fish recently. I have a new job, new work schedule. My wife and I are still getting kind of settled in, so a lot of family things. So haven't had many weekends to fish, but try to squeeze it in when I can. So that's why I got out here this weekend. But I did go fishing here one time since my last video. It was pouring rain. I got skunked. Didn't catch any carp. I caught 1 tiny little channel catfish, and I also fell in the water while I was fishing, which I've actually never done that while carp fishing. I've done it off a boat while bass fishing before. That was embarrassing, but I did fall in the water carp fishing. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that clip here. I wonder how deep this water is right in front of me. Oh, oh shit. Oh, anyway, got my pack bait. This is what the rig looks like. Hair rig dropped down here. Oh, see, a little bit tangled up, so I'm actually gonna move this around. So what I did is I went 3 tiger nuts on 2 of my rods, and the main reason for that is just because my hairs are long. No special reason. If it's a long hair, I don't tend to put on 2 tiger nuts because I don't like how far they hang down from the hook, so I always do 3. So got that baited up. The way I'm going to cast out is I'm going to cast 1 rod straight to the left, 1 rod out to the middle, 1 rod out to the right. Last time I was fishing here as well, I had tried a new spot where the depths were extremely deep, way deeper than I thought, so I think that had something to do with it too. I got 1 casted out. Again, guys, I'm not going to do a super long session today. I'm just trying to squeeze this in. I'm probably only going to do like 3 hours max. It's also super hot out, 95 degrees it's supposed to heat up to, so that's another reason why I just don't feel like sitting out here. But I reel in my drag. Again, I like a tight line when I'm fishing. Especially when I'm fishing for carp, and the reason mostly is because I like the sensitivity on the bite alarm. Also, somebody in the comments was asking me about my setup. I did not spend a lot of money on my setup. This is like basically the cheapest you can get when it comes to like having a rod pod and bite alarms and stuff. I want to say the bite alarms were like max $5. They're just cheap NGT bite alarms. They don't hook up to a receiver or anything like that. All it does is make a sound, when it goes off. And the main reason I wanted that is because if I'm like turned around and not paying attention, I'm also hard of hearing. So if I'm turned around and not paying attention and a fish takes off with my line, when I used to use bells, I normally would never hear it, and sometimes I would completely miss my bite, even if I was right behind it, just because I'm not, I'm hard of hearing. So they help me. This is these are just NGT bridle arms. I got them off Big Carp Tap Hole. I want to say they're like $5 each. I got the rod pod off of Big Carp Tackle. I actually went back to them and checked if they still have this rod pod, and they have a newer version of this now, but I want to say this one was only like $45 or $50. I had to buy these butt ends separate. These were like $1 each basically, or $2 each, these rod rests. So altogether that's like 15. I'm just going to go ahead and say 50 with the rod pod, so probably around like $55 I got this whole setup for, besides my rods obviously. But yeah, so that's what I'm working with. Got one casted out, bite alarm turned on, gonna go ahead and get my other two casted out. All right, y'all, I'm all set up, I'm all casted out, just waiting for a bite now. It's middle of the day, it's 12:26, so basically 12:30. I'm probably only gonna stay till 3 because of the heat. It's between like 95 and 100 degrees right now, and this morning wasn't much better. I think it was in the high 80s when I woke up this morning. So just have been really busy, haven't had a lot of time to fish, but had to squeeze in a quick session. Hopefully I catch something. Last time I fished this lake and caught a carp was my last video. The biggest one I caught was only 8 pounds, so they were smaller carp. I went to a different side of the lake this time, and I did see online that some people have caught bigger fish on this side than, and honestly nobody had really fished the other side where I was fishing, but a lot of the bigger carp have come off of this side, normally like mid to high teens, so hopefully to get into something like that, something around 15 pounds would be nice. But either way, just hoping to catch something. Again, I got skunked the last time I was here, so fished a different spot than this and the spot before, so it was just a completely different spot. The water depths where I'm at right now sit around where my rods are fanned out from right to left. Over here is obviously shallower because it kind of has this runoff into this side little creek right here. I would say this is probably like 3-4 feet right here. This straight out in front of me is about 8 to 9 feet, and then over here is about 5 to 6 feet. So I have a wide array of like depths that I'm casted out in. So we'll see what catches them today. But also, y'all, I was thinking about something, and online I've been seeing that people, they catch their carp, and I saw a kid caught a like almost, I don't know how big it was, but he definitely didn't weigh it properly. He said it was like 19 pounds. You couldn't really see the scale, but he had the scale hooked under its gill right here and was holding it, and it was bleeding. And I just want to say that carp, you can't weigh them that way, and the reason is because they're so heavy that if you pick them up like that, it's different with like a bass, it's only like 3 or 4 pounds, but if you pick up a carp and it's like 20, even like 30 pounds, I've caught like, like 27-pound carp, if you pick it up by the gill, you're really hurting it. You could rip its gill. Really hurts the carp if you do that. And again, we're out here catch and release, trying to just get them to grow bigger and catch them when they're fully grown. I mean, catching a 30-40 pound carp would be so much fun. I've only caught 27 pound max, but still big in my book. But either way, I'd love to come back and catch a 30 pounder someday. And no carp are going to grow to be that big if you take them out of the water at like 19-15 pounds and grab them by the gill and hook them and weigh them that way. So just want to put that out there. What you're supposed to do is, I have a weigh sling, but you can use anything. You can use kind of like a little bag to weigh them. It has to be like a bigger bag, or you can use like just your own net, like whatever net you have. You can weigh them in the net, just subtract the weight of the net. I use my weigh sling and just subtract the weight of that. But yeah, y'all, really try to take care of these carp, because if they die when they're like, 15, 16 pounds, you're not going to be able to come back and catch them when they're like 30, 40 pounds. So anyway, just wanted to give you that little tidbit, but I'm all casted out. Let's see if I catch something. All right, y'all, I definitely have one here. Center rod. Haven't been casted out but 15 minutes maybe. Honestly, this water's really shallow right here. I'm gonna get down in here. Guys, I probably haven't even been casted out 10 minutes. Definitely a carp the way it's running. It's moving all over the place. Doesn't seem like a huge one. I rarely get the, oh. I love when I get to actually fight them in the water while I'm in the water. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's close. It's right here in front of me. Let's get this net. Definitely a carp. I think it's a small one though. Oh yeah, it's a little guy. Just a little guy. Wow, that was fast, y'all. Yes. First carp of the day. Let's go, y'all. A little guy, but I'll take it. First carp of the day. I'm not gonna weigh him. He's only a few pounds. He's a little guy. Again, last time I was here, all I caught was small carp, but I'm gonna let you get a look at him here. Oh yeah, one of the scales is going on. Just a little guy. A little beauty though. 6, 8 pounds max. I would say maybe 6. But a little common. Right off the early, hadn't been casted out but 10, 15 minutes, so. Oh, he's feisty. But, yep, little common. I'm just gonna go ahead and get him on a good release. First one, let's go. All right, y'all. Gonna get him on a good release here. Again, just a little guy. The water is extremely warm. Oh yeah, I should probably take the water temp, but there he is, y'all. Little beauty. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for playing. See ya. All right, y'all, I recasted out my rods. My one rod, got it rebaited, cast it out again. Had only really been set up for like 10 minutes and got hit. It's 12:44. I was basically done getting set up at 12:30. So it's a good sign. Hopefully we keep it up. I will say a lot of times when I get hit off the early, sometimes I end up only getting like a couple of little fish and then I'm done. So hopefully that's not the case today, but I got recasted out. Again, it was just a small one, probably like 6 pounds, 5, 6 pounds is my guess. So didn't even need to weigh it, just got it right back in the water. So yeah, I'm all recasted out. We'll see. Hopefully getting some bigger stuff today. My motor rod already got hit again. No running with it. Didn't take off with my bite alarm or anything, but I did get a huge hit on it and then it just stopped. So could have been a catfish, could have been anything, but I am all casted out. So let's see. Hopefully catch something again soon. All right, y'all. I was thinking also, a question I've been getting asked pretty frequently is about also my rods. Earlier I elaborated a little bit on my rod pod and my bite alarm setup, but my rods, so I use different types of rods all the time. My favorite ones to use, I use Ugly Stick Elites. What they are is they're medium heavy rods. They're actually made for like steelhead salmon fishing. So like, let's say you were to look them up on Amazon, they'll be like the steelhead salmon rod is what it's going to be. And the reason I like those is because they're longer. They're about 9 feet long. And I like that for the carp. It's easier for me to play the carp, especially if they get bigger into like the 20, 30 pound range. It's easier if you have a 9-foot rod. I also have a smaller rod that is a medium action rod that's only a 7-footer. And that's also you can fight carp and get them in, no problem on that. I've caught in like 20 pounders, like no problem off of the smaller rod. And so that's what I use for ugly sticks. I do also, here I'll show y'all. So these are the two ugly sticks I use. Again, Ugly Stick Elites, steel salmon head fishing rods. They're medium heavy rods, 9-footers. This rod here is my only rod that I have that's like a kind of a carp specific rod. This is the Sonic Dominator X RS rod, and I got this, my wife had got this for my birthday, I think like 2 years ago, or last year, and she also got me this reel. Now, when it comes to my reels, my favorite so far is this Daiwa Black Widow reel. It's a 5,000 cc reel, which basically 5,000 is just how much line it holds. So the 5,000s hold more line than the 4,000. My shorter rod, that's my medium action rod that I also fish for carp with, is a 4,000 Daiwa Black Widow. So it's really just like personal preference. It depends how big a water you're fishing, in my opinion. If you're casting pretty far, I tend to get the bigger reels out. If you're going to cast short, like fishing maybe a creek or a small river, then you can use a 4,000, no problem. But I have that one here. This one is a Sonic Hero X, I believe, and it's a 10,000 reel. Now this reel holds a ton of line. If you ever see like European carp fishermen, they normally have something called the Big Pit reel, which is like a massive reel, 10,000 reel, which is how much line it holds. And so yeah, normally I don't always like this because it almost is like too bulky and in the way, but when I'm fishing, like casting far out, I like to use it, and I knew I was going to be casting kind of far today, which is why I brought this one. I'll normally switch out this rod, this big, and this is also the difference between this and those, is this is a 3-pound test curve, which these are medium heavy rods, and because they're ugly sticks, I'd compare them to a 2.5 or 2.75 pound test curve compared to this is a 3-pound test curve. It's a stiffer rod. It's really meant for bigger carp. I've yet to catch like a real big one on this. I think the biggest one I caught was like 13-14 pounds off of this rod, so I'm still waiting to hook into a big one with this rod. But yeah, mostly the reason I bring it, it's longer, casts farther, holds more line because of the Big Pit, or because of the Hero X 10,000 reel. This is a Cast King reel, so all my reels on all my rods are different. This Cast King reel is just the Sharky reel, bait feeder 2. Again, all of them are bite and run reels, so if you notice, I have a little trigger on the back here, here, and here. All of them basically have free, once they pick up if you know what bait running reels are, basically all they do is, once the carp pick it up and start running with it, it feeds it line, lets it take it. The second you pick it up and start reeling in, you kick into your secondary drag system, which is basically your fighting drag, and from there you can fight the fish and get it in. But yeah, and the Cast King is probably my least favorite reel, but again, I've fought many fish and caught big carp off of the Cast King. I caught my PB actually off of this Cast King reel, so I don't have anything really bad to say about it. I just feel like the drag settings aren't as smooth as the Daiwa. And the Sonic, I would say, is kind of like in the middle of the two. I would say that the Daiwa is a little bit higher quality than the Sonic, but the Sonic holds more line, so it's really just whatever. But it's really personal preference, in my opinion. But yeah, I like to try all different stuff just to see which ones I like. In the future, if I were to like have my dream setup, I'll probably buy more ugly sticks or like a 2.75 pound test curve Daiwa rod with these Daiwa reels on it. So anyway, that's a little bit about my setup. Oh, and I use 20-pound mono also for all of my rods. Yeah, all of them are just 20-pound mono. No special line or anything like that, just 20-pound mono. So yeah, man, so that's my setup. But go ahead, wait, see if I catch another fish soon. All right, y'all, and you know I always bring a fun drink of choice. Today, going Coke Zero. And again, shout out to my buddy Jude for getting this little koozie made for me, real carp fishing. So cheers, everybody. Hopefully we catch something soon. All right, y'all. Haven't had a bite in about an hour, no action, nothing. Gonna go ahead and rebait all 3 of my rods, but we'll see. Hopefully I hook into something that isn't a dink, but we will see. Sometimes it's just the way she goes, so especially when you're exploring these new waters. But anyway, gonna reel all this in, gonna get rebaited, get recasted out, see if I can't get into something bigger. All right, y'all, while I was casting my middle rod out, this rod got hit by something. Probably isn't anything on it, but nope. It was a drop back hit, whatever. Oh. Nah, I don't think anything's on it. Whatever it was a drop back hit. Beat my by alarm and then let it go, I guess. Ah, one of my tiger nuts have been taken off here. There used to be 3 tiger nuts on this. Yep. One of my tiger nuts just got taken off. Wow. Alright, gonna have to put a new one on. Alright, y'all, while I was casting my middle rod out, this rod got hit by something. Probably isn't anything on it, but nope. It was a drop back hit, whatever. Oh. Nah, I don't think anything's on it. Whatever it was a drop back hit. Beat my by alarm and then let it go, I guess. Ah, one of my tiger nuts have been taken off here. There used to be 3 tiger nuts on this. Yep. One of my tiger nuts just got taken off. Wow. Alright, gonna have to put a new one on. Alright, y'all, well, I only caught that one carp. I've only been out here, I got cast around 12:30. I've only been out here for like 2 hours, but the heat is just so brutal. It's like it's like 97 degrees out here right now, and I'm just sweating profusely. Haven't had a lot of action, so I think I'm gonna call it here in a couple minutes. I'm gonna start packing up, so unless I get a buzzer beater, this is gonna be it. So thanks everybody, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see y'all in the next one. Thanks.